Why is field of view important in video games? Well, honestly, outside of the fact that it makes some games look a little better, I wasn't really sure. Now, I know that probably sounds weird, seeing as I mostly play games on the PC where you would find a field of view setting, but honestly, I tend to not play with it too much. The gaming community as a whole, on the other hand, tends to get a lot more than a little upset when a new AAA title or some other popular game is released on PC without field of view, or FOV as it's called for short. I really wanted to figure out why that is. Why do people get so upset? Why is this setting, out of so many others, so important? Well, I was curious, and I thought maybe you guys would be too, so I took it upon myself to research the topic a little bit and share what I came up with. If there are any other gaming-related questions or topics you'd like me to research, let me know in the comments, and we'll see what we can learn together. Now, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's talk about what field of view actually is. According to Wikipedia, a fantastic source, I know, but bear with me, the definition, I guess you could say, of field of view is the extent of the observable game world that is seen on the display at any given moment. It is typically measured as an angle, although whether this angle is horizontal or vertical, or diagonal component of the field of view varies from game to game. So simply put, it's what we see through the character's eyes in a first-person video game. Duh, of course, that was an easy one, right? Well, let's go a little further. The average person's field of view is around 170 to 180 degrees. In a console game, the typical FOV is about 60 degrees, which is basically a third of what you'd see in real life if you were in the game. PC games usually sit around 90 to 100 degrees. Now, as you can see in the footage, this is a massive difference. It looks almost like a totally different game. And there are a bunch of reasons for this. Firstly, it's no secret that consoles typically have less horsepower than your average top-tier gaming PC, and less field of view typically means less things on the screen to render at any given time. Secondly, and I found this argument to be pretty interesting, is that console games are mostly played on large TVs that are further away from the player. Now, personally, I play my PS4 through a capture card that goes through my computer monitor, but not everyone has that setup, so I guess that makes sense. So to sum this up, the field of view is changed depending on the hardware capabilities of the machine you're playing on and the distance at which you're playing from your viewing peripherals, i.e. your TV or your monitor. PCs tend to have a higher field of view because A, they can handle the extra on-screen stuff, and B, you're typically closer to your computer monitor than your TV, and it takes up more visual space in your actual field of vision. So why is it important? Why do people get so upset about low FOV in video games? As far as I've seen, there are actually a lot of different reasons as to why they would. Firstly, and probably most obviously, if you've been paying attention, I mentioned earlier that with a higher field of view, you see a lot more in the shot. You're able to take in more of the game world around you, and it just feels a lot more natural, like you're actually looking through someone's eyes. If the FOV is too small, it can just look like you're experiencing some kind of weird alien vision, and it can feel really claustrophobic. Secondly, low FOV limits what you can see on screen. In a hectic game like Shadow Warrior, for instance, when enemies are coming at you from all sides, it's really nice to be able to see as much of your environment as possible. I mean, I know there are hit markers and everything, but sometimes it's better to have an actual visual of the enemy instead of a little red arrow that tells you your leg is being gnawed on. Thirdly, and most importantly, a lot of people apparently suffer from motion sickness when the FOV is too low. This was really interesting to me, and since I myself don't have this problem, I never really considered it to be that much of an issue for most others. I also found that the biggest culprit for this problem was camera shake. In low FOV situations, camera shake can be exponentially exaggerated, which now that I've gone back and looked through some low FOV footage like this, I can definitely see how this would affect some of you. It's kinda awful. But there you have it, guys. Just some of the many reasons why low FOV or field of view can be a massive pain in the ass, and honestly why the internet gets so upset about it sometimes. Hopefully you learned something in today's video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like down below. If you guys would like to see me do more researchy type stuff like this, let me know what you'd like me to cover next in the comments, and if you're not already, go ahead and get subscribed so that you never miss a video. Until the next time though, I'm BouseFeenux, I'll see you at the next episode, and as always, thank you so much for watching.